Liz, and in the next few minutes we're going to look at the resistance to social influence. Not all individuals are likely to conform to social influence. Resistance to social influence involves both disobedience and non-conformity. Non-conformity has two forms, independence and anticonformity. So I'm going to have a look at these aspects. Independence refers to a lack of consistent movement either towards or away from social expectancy. We often describe this as doing our own thing. Anticonformity refers to a consistent movement away from social conformity, such as adapting the behaviour and the norms of the minority. When other people in social situations defy attempts to make them conform and obey, it becomes easier for the individual to resist. The presence of others who dissent creates strong sources of defiance. A dissenter would be an example of social support because it would represent another person who then makes it easier for other people to also dissent. In Ash's study in 1951, so that was his line judgment task, if the dissenter answered correctly from the start of the study, conformity levels dropped from 32% to just 5.5%. If the dissenter answered incorrectly later in the study, conformity levels dropped to 8.5%. This shows that social support received earlier is more effective than support received later. In Milgram's study, when two Confederates who were paired with real participants left, saying they wouldn't continue, only 10% of participants gave the maximum 450-volt shock. So the creation of a disobedient group, norms, puts more pressure on participants to conform. Rotter, in 1966, designed a three-part questionnaire to measure internal and external locus of control. Scores range from 0 to 13, and a low score indicates an internal control and a high score indicates external control. A locus of control is the extent to which people think they're in control of their own lives. So an internal locus of control is the belief that things will happen as a result of our choices and decisions. External locus of control is the belief that things happen because of luck, fate, or other external forces beyond the control of the individual. Individuals with an internal locus of control are less likely to conform than those with an external locus of control. So, to recap, some resistance to social influence is disobedience and non-conformity. And non-conformity can be in the form of independence or anti-conformity. So I'm going to have a closer look at the locus of control. So that was the extent to which people believe that they are in control of their lives. Spector, in 1983, found that participants with a high external locus of control conformed more than those with a low external locus of control, but only in situations involving normative social pressure. Neither group, high or low external locus of control, conform in situations of information social influence. This shows that feeling like we don't need to be accepted into a social group increases our ability to resist social control. Morghadam, in 1998, found that Japanese people conform more easily than Americans and also have a more external locus of control. And this shows that cultural differences in conformity can be explained by these differences in the locus of control. Schurz, in 1985, instructed participants to give what they believed was a painful, skin-damaging burst of ultrasound to a learner. Schurz found no relationship between the locus of control and obedience. But the participants who administered the highest dose, those with an internal locus of control, were more likely to take responsibility for their actions than participants with an external locus of control. This shows that feelings of personal control may be related to resistance to social influence. So I'll just recap those studies for you. So Schurz in 1985 instructed participants to give what they believed was a painful, skin-damaging burst of ultrasound to a learner, and he found no relationship between the locus of control and obedience. Holland and Blass in 1967 and 1991 found that those with an internal locus of control were better at resisting obedience than those with an external one. Spector in 1983 found that participants with high external locuses of control conformed more than those with the low external locus of control, but only in situations involving normative social pressure. Moghadam found that Japanese people conformed more easily than Americans and also have a more external locus of control. And that sums up what you need to know about the resistance to social influence.